Everyone is talking about the drama that nobody anticipated. Tai and Evelyn's once unbreakable bond has now burst, and the disaster that's developing behind the scenes is worse than anybody could have predicted. Their private fight has devolved into public upheaval due to rumors of envy, treachery, and an unexpected love triangle, and the internet is obsessed. The rumors that Evelyn had been approaching someone Tai was seeing too closely were the beginning of it all. Fans are eager to find out the identity of this mysterious guy. What started out as mild criticism on social media swiftly turned into a full-fledged conflict with followers left in disbelief due to cryptic tweets, articles that were removed, and even live call-outs. You are well aware of what you did. Evelyn responded to Tai's tirade in a widely shared tweet by saying, "Don't play the victim when you began the game." Now Tai, Evelyn, and the rest of the Basketball Wives LA crew were celebrating the launch of a new skincare line in downtown Los Angeles. Cameras were rolling, champagne was flowing, and everything looked picture perfect. But underneath the glitter and good vibes, tension simmered. There was something off between Tai and Evelyn. Small looks, forced smiles, and a kind of energy that would blow everything open. The entire BBWLA world is divided. Friend groups are picking sides. Producers are frantical insiders, say that after a certain man, a tall, charming entrepreneur who had recently been seen at several events with both women, entered the picture, things started to fall apart. His name wasn't immediately made public, but fans started to piece things together after Evelyn shared a picture with the caption, "Some people don't realize what they have until it's gone." The internet went crazy after Tai uploaded a mysterious story a few hours later saying, "Imagine smiling in my face while texting my man." Within hours, fan pages started searching through old footage, posting side-by-side comparisons, and making assumptions that Evelyn had gone too far with someone close to Tai. Hashtags like Yorkshire Ties Evelyn and Love Triangle Drama started trending. Fans were unaware that the drama was not limited to social media. It had been simmering behind the scenes for months. According to production-related sources, Evelyn had been feeling sidelined by Tai since the beginning of season 12 filming. Tai had quickly become a fan favorite, bold, outspoken, and unafraid to call people out. What had begun as subtle competition turned personal when Tai started dating a man Evelyn had previously been linked to off-camera. One insider revealed that Evelyn felt as though Tai was attempting to steal her shine and her man, believing that he was doing it for attention and to keep her spot on the show. However, Tai's version couldn't be more different. Tai reportedly sobbed when it was never shown, saying she didn't know Evelyn had ever had anything to do with him. "She never mentioned him once," Tai added, sobbing, "and now she's trying to make me look like the villain. That is betrayal, not friendship." Evelyn refused to back down, saying, "But when the two eventually met in person at a cast brunch, things took a turn nobody could have imagined." "You knew exactly what you were doing, Tai," Evelyn said as she leaned in and sipped her mimosa calmly, captured on camera. "Don't act foolish." Tai's eyebrows tightened as the table became quiet. "Are you serious now? You've been behaving as if every guy who comes in contact with you is your property. Perhaps assess your anxieties prior to attending me." "Please, girl. You don't even need to try that hard to be fake," Evelyn snapped back, rolling her eyes. The damage was already done when the producers reportedly had to intervene before the brunch descended into violence. The 15-second clip went viral within hours, and fans couldn't believe what they were witnessing. Evelyn calling Tai a snake, Tai flinging her serviette across the table, and both women storming off in opposite directions. The fallout was immediate, with other cast members taking sides and the tension spilling into group scenes that were nearly impossible to film. Jackie attempted to. Then came the unexpected turn of events. DMs purportedly exchanged between Evelyn and Tai's alleged boyfriend were leaked, and screenshots of flirtatious messages, late-night meetings, and a conversation that suggested something more surfaced. Although Evelyn never denied the messages were real, her silence only served to fuel the rumors, and fans were split. Some supported Tai, calling her the most genuine character on the show, and demanding that Evelyn be held accountable. By the middle of the season, the feud had become the plot, with every incident, confession, and social media post seemingly returning to the same explosive question: did Evelyn betray Tai over a man? Tai addressed the rumors in a now-delete Instagram, Liv stating, "Don't assume that I'm weak. I've remained silent out of respect." Before the lights go off and the cameras start rolling, some individuals act faithful. Then all of a sudden they forget who supported them. Meanwhile, Evelyn shared a mysterious statement on social media. True queens uplift, not compete. It was shade, pure and simple. As the feud reached new heights, producers reportedly scheduled a sit-down scene, an attempt to get both women to clear the air. But insiders say it didn't go as planned. The confrontation turned fiery, filled with accusations, receipts, and raw emotion. Evelyn walked off mid-scene while Tai broke down in tears, saying, "I just want the truth to come out." She had no idea that the truth was going to get much more ugly than anyone could have imagined because, as one crew member put it, what followed made every other BBWA feud seem like child's play. The stage was set, the cameras were prepared, and the love triangle that began with whispers was about to blow up in front of millions of people. The question was not whether Evelyn and Tai could reconcile, but rather whether either of them would survive the truth once it was revealed. Production resumed the following week, but things were anything but normal. The tension between Tai and Evelyn had reached a boiling point, and everyone on set could sense it. Even crew members whispered about the cast's upcoming group trip to Palm Springs, which was supposed to be a restful vacation and a chance to rekindle the spirit after weeks of fighting. Became the scene of one of the most shocking on-camera explosions in Basketball Wives LA history. The atmosphere was thick from the moment Tai arrived at the villa, and Evelyn had already been there, drinking a glass of rosé and acting completely unconcerned, her go-to tactic whenever drama surrounded her. Jackie, who always thought of herself as the peacemaker, tried to break the ice. She smiled nervously and continued, "Ladies, we're here for healing and good vibes." After saying, "Let's leave the past in LA," Tai just grinned. She said, "Some people live in the past," and tossed her bags on the sofa. Evelyn's gaze shifted upward. She said, "And some people live for attention." The serene exterior was broken by that single statement. The group supper that evening quickly devolved into a verbal confrontation. Tai laid it all out, obviously frustrated. "Although you are the one who betrayed me, you have been out here talking like the victim. You had the audacity to pretend to be innocent after having an affair behind my back." Evelyn's voice fell, serene but poisonous. "Do you truly believe you have the right to every guy who approaches you? Please." Perhaps he came to the realization that he preferred a mature lady to a project. The room was filled with gasps. In fact, Brooke's fork clattered onto her plate. Jackie said, "That's low," as she anxiously looked at the cameras. "Low," Tai yelled. "No, Low has been deceiving me for weeks while acting as if we were great. Low is grinning in my face while sending him a text. Good night." The table became quiet for a bit. The stress in each breath was audible. Evelyn then got up and clapped her hands in typical BBWLA way. "Do you want to discuss texting? Let's discuss how you were trash-talking me to half the cast, claiming that I was attention-hungry. You were the first to try to play me." Tai shook her head, tears streaming down her cheeks. Not from grief, but anger. This is something you've been doing for years. You act like a victim, cause mayhem, and then leave as if everything was okay. Not now." Producers then had to step in once again. Evelyn hurried to her room and slammed the door so forcefully that the boom mic on the crew shook. Shaking, Tai muttered to Jackie, "She believes she can ruin me, but I have evidence." Everyone was tense at hearing the word evidence. What evidence? Rumors began to circulate over the course of the next 2 days that Tai had screenshots of communications between Evelyn and the individual in issue, which contrasted sharply with Evelyn's claims. One insider claims that the texts went beyond simple flirtation. While he was still with Tai, they depicted Evelyn aggressively courting him. Tai hesitated when asked whether she would be willing to display them on camera by production. "I'm not here to make people feel bad," she replied. "But I won't have an option if she continues to lie. Tai was approached by production whether she would be prepared to show them on camera. She paused. "I'm not here to make people feel bad," she replied. "But I won't have an option if she continues to lie." Evelyn's camp, however, was in disarray. Claiming that the screenshots were manipulated and that Tai was only attempting to construct a plot, she began recording her own confessional pieces. With her eyes sparkling, Evelyn informed producers that she was yearning to be relevant. "I've spent more than 10 years on this program. I understand how the game works. I'm being used as leverage by her." Then, however, an unforeseen event occurred. Production learned that the guy at the heart of the story, the one both ladies were connected to, had consented to talk on camera one afternoon as the group relaxed by the pool. He wanted to make everything plain. He was a fitness entrepreneur named Malik, and he had been discreetly dating Tai for a number of months, prior to the consequences. The atmosphere immediately changed when Malik showed up at the property to shoot. Evelyn feigned indifference, but as soon as he entered, her calmness broke. It was impossible to interpret Tai's face. In order to allow Malik to explain, the producers requested everyone to remain calm. He inhaled deeply before starting. "All of this was not my intention. Tai was the first person I met. Things were becoming serious." However, during a charity function, Evelyn and I struck up a conversation. It went there even though it wasn't meant to. The room became cold. Evelyn tightened her jaw. Tai's fingers shook. "So you confess," Tai muttered. Malik let out a sigh. "I don't take pride in it. I ought to have been truthful with each other. I made a mistake." Evelyn attempted to speak out. That wasn't the case. Malik interrupted her, however. "Come on, E, don't pretend it never happened." The air became electrified. When Evelyn realized that every second was being recorded by the cameras, her cheeks flushed. Tai just stood there looking incredulously at Malik. Softly, "You both lied to me," she murmured. Evelyn attempted to speak again, but Tai raised her hand and said, "And now you're trying to fix it because the cameras are rolling." She went away with tears running down her cheeks, leaving everyone speechless. Just don't. That unfiltered, genuine, and heartbreaking moment would turn out to be the viral video. Social media was inundated with fans criticizing Evelyn for her treachery and applauding Tai for her fortitude. For days, hashtags like Tai Evelyn exposed and TA Team TAI dominated timelines. However, one thing was evident even as the truth started to emerge. This was not the end of it. Evelyn was not the kind to remain quiet for very long. She had a tale of her own and was prepared to change the whole thing. "Just wait if you thought this was the climax," one producer said. The actual explosion has yet to occur. On and off camera, the days after Malik's confession were a complete mess. Videos of Tai leaving the altercation became viral on social media, garnering millions of views and hours. Basketball fans praised it as the most authentic moment in the history of the sport. Evelyn Exposed trended for 3 days in a row as her name was widely shared on fan accounts and gossip websites. However, this is the one thing that everyone in reality TV is aware of. It's not easy for Evelyn Lozada to lose. Evelyn returned to the internet only 48 hours later with a composed, well-executed Instagram Live that was more akin to a press conference than a tirade. She had her hair done to perfection and was wearing a sleek black top. Leaning towards the camera, she said, "Y'all are only getting half the story. I made mistakes, but I'm not the only one who's been lying." "The internet froze," she said in a calm but scathing tone. Tai has been acting shady for months, yet she still wants to portray herself as an innocent victim. Fans showered the comments with fire emojis and wide eyes, saying, "And since we're airing things out, maybe it's time I show receipts too." Evelyn was not going to back down. She was losing her mind. Within minutes, Evelyn shared a number of screenshots purportedly demonstrating that, despite her public declaration that she was done, Tai had resumed texting Malik after their altercation, even flirting with him. The texts were dated only a week previously, with one message stating, "We can talk when cameras aren't around." "You know, I still care." The internet went wild. Some fans accused Evelyn of inventing the conversations while others turned on Tai, calling her manipulative and calculated. There was a sharp division within the fans. It was not long before Tai answered. Then came the phrase that shattered the internet. She retaliated in an angry Instagram story saying, "I said I still cared about the person I thought he was. Don't twist my words for views. This woman is obsessed with trying to stay relevant. I'm the truth, and the truth always prevails even if you're the original." The anxiety was awful back on set. Despite Jackie and Brooke's best efforts to remain impartial, they were inevitably drawn into the conflict. In an attempt to mediate once again, Jackie organized a group gathering at her home, but everyone knew in their hearts that this would not end amicably. Evelyn hardly said hello to anybody when she got there. Shortly after, Tai entered with his face icy and sunglasses on. Jackie started quietly. Please, ladies, let's speak like true women. Just the truth, no audience, no cameras. Evelyn interrupted her before she could say anything further. Sincerity? It's amusing that someone who has been lying from day one would say that. Tai's mouth quirked. You mean you? I mean you, not me. Evelyn shot back. In an attempt to boost your reputation, you have been leaking false information to bloggers. Do you honestly believe that producers don't inform me of what's happening? Tai got to his feet. Evelyn, you've been doing reality TV for too long. The distinction between a scenario and reality is no longer discernible. You harm others to gain influence and call it content. Evelyn chuckled, a piercing caustic tone. You joined for Basketball Wives, not Bible study, my dear. Everyone in the room let out a gasp. Jackie seemed to be at a loss for words. She hurriedly responded, okay, in an attempt to diffuse the situation. However, Evelyn wasn't finished. We are not doing this again. She gave Tai her characteristic look. Do you want to discuss betrayal? Let's discuss your attempt to hook up with one of my ex-boyfriends last year. Do you believe I was unaware? I didn't care, so I ignored it. You want to pretend to be a saint now, however. Girl, please. Tai's mouth fell open. You're telling lies. Am I wonder? With a quick response, Evelyn took out her phone. Because I have photographs. There was silence in the room. Brooke muttered. This is crazy. Evelyn displayed blurry photographs. A bar, a supper, and Tai seated next to a guy Evelyn had dated before. Was it evidence of a romantic nature? Not much, but Evelyn understood that perception was crucial. That's low, Evelyn, said Tai in a whisper. You're using old pictures as a weapon to make yourself appear better. You're reaching. Reaching, Evelyn said, taking a step closer. They briefly faced one another, inches away, and said, No, sweetheart. I'm reclaiming my power. There was an electric tension. Enough already! This is not worth it, Jackie said as she sprang between them. The cameras halted for safety, but sources claim that the ranting did not stop. According to reports, Evelyn threw her phone on the driveway and stormed away once again. After she left, Tai started crying and said to Jackie, I'm so tired of her twisting everything. I didn't even do anything wrong. Jackie always had the realistic side. Perception is reality in this game, darling. It is up to you to choose what kind of truth you can tolerate. Headlines burst the next morning. Tai and Evelyn engage in a violent altercation. Betrayal, lies, and receipts. Online leaks of the previous night's footage revealed snippets of the mayhem. Jackie yelling, Tai sobbing, and Evelyn pointing. More than before, fans were split. Some demanded that Tai quit the program, while others urged Evelyn to issue an apology. Malik even tweeted something ambiguous. Words cannot always express what silence can. However, the one thing that none of the people in this triangle could maintain was quiet. Because the greatest bombshell hadn't even been revealed, despite producers hinting to it in previews for the next show. Yet there was still one piece of evidence that might change the whole story. Like one secret that neither Evelyn nor Tai anticipated. And everything would change when it eventually became widely known. One thing became evident when the dust eventually cleared. Basketball Wives LA history would remember this dispute. There was more to the Tai and Evelyn story than a simple dispute between co-stars. In front of millions, it developed into a full-fledged cultural event, a conflict between pride, allegiance, and the truth. Friendships were split among the fans. There was a scene at the conclusion of the last show that had everyone talking. On the reunion special, Tai and Evelyn took a last seat across from one another. The stillness in the room was deafening, and the energy was dense. At last, Evelyn spoke first, her eyes welling with tears. Quietly, she murmured, I didn't mean to hurt you. After taking a big breath and looking down, Tai said, I made bad choices, but I didn't deserve the hate that came with it. Evelyn nodded slowly, her voice shaking. Then maybe this is our piece, she said. You hurt me, Evelyn. Not just as a friend, but as a woman. But I've learned that forgiveness isn't about letting someone else off the hook. It's about freeing yourself. The audience erupted in applause, and even the host looked stunned. It was a rare glimpse of raw emotion, the kind that reminded viewers that behind the drama and shade were real people with real pain. Fans weren't convinced, and the reunion video went viral right away, igniting debates on social media. Some claimed Tai was too forgiving, while others said Evelyn showed growth. However, one thing was certain, this season had been one of the most